We're in the final days of the 2022 garden. It's been a fun year. We got started a bit late. Lots of plants from Lowe's. Next year we'll start sooner with seeds. Lots of tomatoes. Lots of onions. Not sure how big they're going to be. I think we grew 10 strawberries. And some ugly beans that nobody wants to eat. And some more ugly beans that nobody wants to eat. And some more tomatoes. We had corn 1.5 times. Couldn't really call the second corn harvest a meal. I think we got 2 ears of corn off of these, but I didn't really expect them to live in 4 inches of sand, but they did. Some of the pepper plants have done better than others. This is a Carolina Reaper. Looks like the only one. Well, serrano peppers. And this is a very pretty pepper. These are Carolina Reapers. And we have this beautiful plant that was topped early in the season, and it has not a single pepper. So, lesson learned. These hot cayennes have been really good. Wish we'd have had about 300 more. So here's a Reaper plant that did really well. It has about 30 Reapers, and they're starting to ripen up now. We'll overwinter this plant and grow it again in the spring. starting to look nasty. Really pretty plant. This was probably the success of the pepper growing for 2022. Habaneros are pretty. A lot more of these next year. Another Carolina Reaper that just didn't do anything. It grew some pretty leaves. These are just some miscellaneous late season peppers we picked up at Lowe's. Another hot cayenne. These two peppers have been growing all season. They're huge. And the carrots and some spring onions. Okra. Butter beans. We do have some nice butter beans on this plant. They're probably ready to pick this weekend. And maybe we'll have one meal of butter beans. Yeah, they're falling over, they're so heavy. These are the cucumbers. They were planting kind of late, but they've really grown some pretty cucumbers. Some collards. More butter beans and zucchini over on the right. A little late, but we'll get some food at least. And this okra will not have time to make it, but I knew that when it was planted. The squash has really struggled this year, but you can see we'll get a little last 6 or 7 squash. And we actually did grow some okra, just not very much. Next year. This pepper plant is set over here by itself without any irrigation. Maybe one of the prettiest plants I have. Just loaded down with peppers everywhere. And here's another the same way. The tomatoes have just about crushed this poor plant. As you can see, it's really loaded down. They'll be good. Those are chili red peppers. This is another late season tomato we picked up. It seems to be determinate. So, one more round of tomatoes. We'll call this one done. You can see some of the hail marks from our hailstorm. Not sure what's happened in the late season. Some of it's died off. I think the windstorm that blew it over may have caused some of this. So the worm farm's done well. Looks pretty gross. They seem to be doing well. Here's one. My late season July corn. It's been very pretty to watch it grow, but it's not going to make. The frost is going to come. Some little onions, carrots. We had lettuce and spinach in here, and actually a few collards, mustard, actually. So we pulled those out, and Mary Catherine's growing the last cucumbers. Here's a nice one. Oh, another nice one. Somebody needs to pick cucumbers. So these are the 2 take-home gifts of this gardening season. These are 2 clematis plants. I think that's the correct pronunciation. They're perennial. They'll grow as high as you give them something to climb on and come back every year. They have to have something to grow or climb. So maybe next year we'll have a really pretty plant. Spinach hasn't done well in the heat. I'm interested to see if it improves as it gets colder. The peas have done well, but after the first crop, they just stopped. I'm not sure why. And the hail made our collards look pretty bad, but they're starting to grow out of it. Or actually not collards, but this mustard here. It's pretty. May have had some insects at some point. I'm gonna eat this tonight, or at least all the leaves with holes, with pepper vinegar. It'll be good. So one last look. It'll be over in a few days, sadly, but it's really pretty right now. All right. Take care.